His Excellency Xanana Gusmao. Xanana Gusmao led the Timorese resistance, which achieved independence for the people of East Timor. He was the first elected president of the republic and later served as prime minister. Xanana Gusmao was born on the 20th of June, 1946 in Manituto. He attended primary school at Santa Teresa, Osu, and the Catholic mission of Nossa Senhora de Fatima in Dare and high school at Dr. Francisco Machado in Dili. Xanana Gusmao entered public administration in 1966 and served in the Portuguese military from 1968 to 1970. In 1974 he joined the staff of the newspaper A Voz de Timor, the Voice of Timor, and the political party Associação Social Democrata, the SDT Social Democrat Association, which soon transformed into the Revolutionary Front for an independent Timor Leste Fretilin, working as deputy director of the Department of Information. In 1981 he organized the first national conference of Fretilin, during which he was elected leader of the resistance and commander-in-chief of the Falintil, National Liberation Armed Forces of Timor-Leste. In March 1983, Xanana Gusmao initiated formal negotiations with the Indonesian Armed Forces ABRITNI, leading to a ceasefire, which lasted until August the same year. He conceived and implemented the policy of national unity, developed the clandestine network, known in Portuguese as Frente Clandestina, and created the National Council of Malbar Resistance, which later became the National Council of Timorese Resistance CNRT. A year after the Santa Cruz Massacre 1991, Xanana Gusmao, after 17 years of guerrilla warfare, was captured by the Indonesian military. In 1993 he faced a kangaroo court trial and was imprisoned in Semarang, Indonesia, and subsequently in Cipinang, in prison. Xanana Gusmao devoted his time to drafting strategies for the resistance. While studying Indonesian, English and law, he also painted and wrote poetry. In 1998, while still imprisoned, Xanana Gusmao was reaffirmed by acclamation as leader of the Timorese resistance and president of CNRT at the East Timorese National Convention. He was placed under house arrest in February 1999 and released on the 7th of September 1999. In August 2000, the First National Congress of CNRT elected Xanana Gusmao president of the CNRT National Congress. From November 2000 to April 2001, he was the Speaker of the National Council, an all-Timorese legislative body of the Transitional Administration of East Timor, comprised of civil society representatives. After the dissolution of CNRT June 2001, he established the Association of Resistance Veterans, aiming to create conditions to enable veterans to participate in the country's development process. On the 14th of April 2002, Xanana Gusmao was elected President of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste and was sworn in on the 20th of May 2002. He served as President of the Republic until the end of his term of office in May 2007. In 2007 he was elected President of the newly established political party, formed in April 2007, CNRT National Congress for the Reconstruction of East Timor. Legislative elections were held on the 30th of June, with CNRT receiving the second highest number of votes and immediately forming an alliance with parliamentary majority, with three other parties, PD Democratic Party and the ASDT-PSD coalition. This alliance held a parliamentary majority and was formally invited to form the fourth constitutional government. In August 2007, Xanana Gusmao was sworn in as Prime Minister and Minister for Defense and Security of the Democratic Republic of East Timor. He was re-elected as Prime Minister in the 2012 legislative elections. As Prime Minister, Xanana Gusmao consolidated peace and national unity, strengthened the democratic foundations of the state, invested in key sectors for economic growth and led the drafting and consultation for the National Strategic Development Plan 2011 to 2030. In December 2014, Xanana Gusmao announced he would be stepping down as Prime Minister. The sixth constitutional government came to office on the 16th of February 2015, signaling the arrival of a new generation of leaders. Xanana Gusmao was sworn in as Minister of Planning and Strategic Investment. a position he occupied until September 2017, when the 7th constitutional government came into office. Since 2010, Xanana Gusmao has also held the position of eminent person of the G7+, an international group of 20 developing countries that are either facing conflict or have recent experience of conflict and fragility or undergoing democratization. The G7+'s main goal is to share experience and expertise, seeking not only to transform developing countries, but change the way in which the international community engages fragile and conflict-affected states. In 2016, the government appointed Xanana Gusmao as chief negotiator for the Council for the final delimitation of maritime boundaries. In this role, he led negotiations with Australia, including the compulsory conciliation under UNCLOS, leading to the Maritime Boundary Treaty between East Timor and Australia, which was ratified on the 30th of August 2019. Xanana Gusmao is now currently working on the process to establish final maritime boundaries with Indonesia. In 2018, recognizing his expertise, experience, and success in delimiting maritime boundaries, the government appointed Xanana Gusmao as the government's special representative to negotiate land borders with the Republic of Indonesia. In 2018, he was also appointed the government's special representative in concluding the necessary procedures for ratifying the treaty between the East Timor and Australia, establishing their respective maritime boundaries in the Timor Sea, purchasing interests in Timor Sea petroleum fields, and signing agreements for the exploitation of the Greater Sunrise Field. He resigned from this last position in July 2020.